Hey guys, I thought I'd share a gameplay with you today. This was a game that I played earlier on the ranked ladder, and it was a really fun one. I've fallen completely in love with Choice Scarf Palafin. I love this Pokemon, so I really want to show this game to you guys and talk about the strengths of this set. So here we lead fairly similar. My opponent has the Garchomp Kilowattrel, and I have the Palafin Kilowattrel. Now, here we're likely going to match Tailwinds. If Kilowattrel protects, it lets me get off Tailwind for free. It likely doesn't want to do that, so a Flip Turn into that slot is fairly free for me here. Especially since if they want to attack, it's likely going to be into the Palafin anyway, and we're going to be faster with our Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf Kilowattrel is very uncommon. If they had it, I would have been in trouble, but we took that chance. Now, we're going to go into our Arboliva because this Pokemon matches up so incredibly well into Garchomp, and an Air Slash coming into that slot is very, very unlikely, and even if it were to, we get the Tailwind pressure, and that's not something they want to allow to happen. So we get our Tailwind off there, we win the Speed tie, they get those off as well, and they reveal that they're actually, what's the ability called? Wind Power. Now, that was pretty cool, I didn't expect that. I'm used to seeing a lot of competitive or Volt Absorb, but Wind Power is really cool as well. The big Rock Slide from the enemy Garchomp, it actually crits us on the Arboliva, but we're able to take it really well, and we get the Terrain up with our Seed Sower ability. This Pokemon is incredibly tanky, and it's actually really good against Garchomp. It's one of the main reasons it's on my team. It deals with those Sword Dancer Garchomps really, really well. Now, this set I'm running on it is something that I've since changed because dealing with those substitutes on Dundozas was really tough without having a really strong grass move, but it's really, really good into the Garchomp matchup. So here we went for the really obvious play. Now, I'm thinking they're likely going to protect that slot, so I probably should have maybe switched out my Kilowattrel, but I greeded. I greeded for the play. I thought, hey, maybe they'll let their guard down. You never really know how good a player is when you're climbing the ranked ladder until you verse them a couple of times. So that was me just making a very, very silly play. That was really obvious. If I protect there, I'm probably able to take them out next turn, unless they win the speed tie, to be fair. So it's a pretty iffy play regardless. But Kilowattrel's down, and this isn't too bad, but we're kind of at a bit of a disadvantage now. Like, we can get our Palafin in, which is pretty solid, and we can do some serious damage, but we've lost our Kilowattrel, so if the game goes beyond the point of Tailwind, then they're going to be able to regain speed control and put us at a really disadvantage. So Kilowattrel is now the threat that needs to go. I bring in Palafin, who is on the Choice Scarf, and we are carrying Ice Punch on this set. So Wave Crash is just incredibly strong as well, and Garchomp really isn't that much of a threat, but it is a Garchomp. Though Kilowattrel is kind of what I'm thinking I want to get rid of. They cannot protect in that slot this turn. I mean, they can, but it's a lower chance. Protecting twice in a row is a fairly low chance. I go straight into the Kilowattrel, I believe, here for damage, as I do want to get rid of that slot, and we just Wave Crash in there in case they switch. And we then Leech Seed onto the Garchomp. Oh no, we Ice Punch. Yeah, we do Ice Punch. But yeah, we're going into the Kilowattrel. We're taking that out. We probably don't want to take the recoil, I assume. And yeah, they protect the Garchomp because they probably assume Ice Punch into that slot. But I personally want to get rid of the Kilowattrel. This thing is in my way, and I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have a prolonged battle where they get the speed control back, and it just gets really iffy. So we're able to take that out, recover from that really bad play that we made, and we're in a pretty decent spot, though they're going to have some good offensive pressure because they can bring in whatever they want here, and it's very likely this Garchomp doesn't stay in, right? Like, I just revealed Choice Scarf Ice Punch, and that's a 4 times weakness to Garchomp, so it's not likely that sticks in here. So I end up switching out into my King Gambit. Now, this is of course a risky play. Sylveon is going to hit me pretty hard because I do take neutral damage, and King Gambit's special defense is not that incredible. So I make this really hard switch, but I'm kind of banking on Palafin in the late game because it can do a lot of damage to my opponent's team, and with that Choice Scarf, I will have that consistent speed pressure. Now, I go out into King Gambit, and I believe the Sylveon Hyper Voices, and it chunks me really, really hard. But I do still have the Arboliva on the field, which is really solid. Yeah, the Garchomp leaves, which is expected. I did not expect them to stay in, which is why I didn't Ice Punch into that slot in the first place. And here comes the Golden Go, which is their last Pokemon, and this Pokemon is quite threatening. And it's getting pretty scary now, because having these two Pokemon out is not something I want to deal with the two that I have out as well. Now, I Earth Powered into that slot, and it did absolutely no damage. Sylveon is a very bulky Pokemon on the special side, and it's going to be very tough for me to whittle it down at this point. I do have Iron Head on my King Gambit, but that play is just way too obvious, and there's no way I'm going to risk that. I need to heal up off this grassy terrain if I want to have any chance of surviving another Hyper Voice, at least well. So the Tailwinds are now gone, and I just protect up. I don't want to take this risk, and I end up Elite Seeding towards the Sylveon slot, I believe, to get a little bit of chip damage on this Pokemon and keep myself a little bit healed. Though the problem here is the Golden Go ends up actually, I believe, making it rain on my team. I think that's what happens. And I remember being just really caught off guard by this because it's in front of a King Gambit, and I thought that they would just really expect the Sucker Punch, but I guess they just wanted to take the risk. I mean, that's what I remember happening in the first place. Yeah, they make it rain here, and this caught me really, really off guard. Because in front of King Gambit with access to Sucker Punch, them pressing it, if they lose that Golden Go, then they kind of just lose the game. Because I do have the Choice Scarf Palafin in the back. I've revealed Ice Punch, you can deal with the Garchomp. And I do have a King Gambit here, and I don't know, I felt like it was a bit strange. It felt a little strange to me. But the play ends up working out for them, and Sylveon is now a Terra Water. Ironhead is not going to be super effective anymore, and I'm really, really on the back foot here. This is going to be really hard to come back from. But I have the Choice Scarf Palafin in the back. That's what's beautiful here. And here I make a play that I know that they know I'm not going to protect this turn. I protected last turn, and maybe they just made that hard read on me. That does happen. So I am going to Cocktail Cleave, Cocktail, whatever. I'm going to use the signature move of King Gambit into that Golden Go slot because that's not going to be able to protect, and it's likely going to switch out. They're not going to want to attack into a possible Sucker Punch. So I get big damage off onto the Garchomp because of that. And the beauty of Choice Scarf Palafin, I'm actually running Terra Grass, and I'm running Terra Blast as well for that big grass move. The Sylveon making that Terra Water play was actually a big mistake on their part. I mean, to be fair, if they're anything else, Wave Crash probably just wins the game. But we get a big Terra Grass, Terra Blast off on the Sylveon and just completely take him out. It was just, it just feels so good to make plays like that. Terra's really fun. I mean, it's really hard to account for every possible Terra type. That Sylveon, I had no way of knowing they were going to be Water. It makes sense since it's an Ironhead Resist. And it's a really good defensive typing. But yeah, we get that big damage off on the Garchomp, and now we're in a really, really good spot. And we've kind of got them pigeonholed here. I don't really know what they can really do. So we have Sucker Punch and our King Gambit, which kind of pigeonholes this Golden Go in. He can't really do much. They can't really attack. Otherwise, they would just get taken out by the Sucker Punch. We have the Terra Grass Choice Scarfed Palafin that just deals with the Garchomp because it will KO at this range. So they choose to protect, and I guess they're hoping to survive the Sucker Punch, but they're just not able to. And I'm thinking that they don't have Protect by the fact that they switched out the previous turn. It may have been to reset the special attack, to be fair, but either way, they're kind of pigeonholed there into a spot they don't want to be in. And now we have the beauty of the Terra Grass and the Sucker Punch having this Garchomp in a spot where it just really can't do anything. If it chooses to just try to Swords Dance or Protect and outplay the Sucker Punches, it just gets KO'd to the Terra Grass, and if it chooses to attack, it gets KO'd to the Sucker Punch. It's really kind of just we're able to bring this back, and it kind of all comes down to this beautiful Choice Scarf Palafin. Now, it got a good bit of chip off in the beginning. It took out the Focus Sash on the Kilowattrel. It came back in and picked up the KO. It threatened out the Garchomp, and then it came back in later with the Terra Grass taking out the Sylveon and threatening pressure on the Garchomp again in the late game. Now, I love this Pokemon. I know not that many people are playing it, but hey, I highly recommend trying it out. I'm going to probably put the code to this team in the description to this video if you guys want to try it out. Now, I'm still experimenting with it. I actually want to try Armor Rouge in the space of the Arcanine, and I want to have a Trick Room mode on the team because I do have some slow Pokemon. So let me know what you guys think. Try out this team, try out the code, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Choice Scarf Palafin is a lot of fun, and I hope you guys just really, really enjoy it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.